Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and frag fanatics all around Australia and all around the world. We are live with the ESEA Mountain Dew League Season 26 here in Australia and New Zealand. My name is Justin, they call me Cyberwaste, and we are going to be casting a potential cracker of a best of three between Chiefs Esports Club and Legacy Esports. It's going to be a best of three on Mirage, Train, and Cobblestone. And as I said, I'm Justin. They call me Cyberwaste, and I have my right-hand man of Mitch. Say hello.
Hello.
And it's looking to be quite the barn burner of a best of three, and really interesting too because Chiefs are coming back from being overseas. They were in Korea, if I recall, for
Yep, they were for the WEGL, was it?
I
Something like
believe it was. It was WEGL, and they had a little bit of dabbling in some out of seas talent. Same with the IESF International Esports Cup. They played against. They have a last 5 games against a variety of teams from China, Romania, Switzerland, which if you could believe that, Israel, and South Korea in Otterman's Academy. It's
Ah,
really interesting.
right. That is interesting. Well, um, our teams today, of course, Legacy Esports and Chiefs Esports. This is for the quarterfinal. So, normal system for the bracket, quarterfinal. Whoever wins that goes into the semis, and then the grand final.
Indeed, and well, we're still waiting for people to file into the server, but actually, there it is quite interesting seeing, at least over the last little while, seeing a lot of the teams start to come together and find their footing, and it's a real jostle for the top spot in Australia. Which, if you look at the rest of the bracket will be on ESEA and I believe on HLTV as well. Someone will have to confirm that. But if you look at the bracket, it's basically a who's who of Australia and New Zealand CS. It's the Renegades' departure to the land of the free and the home of the whatever.
I've actually got all the quarterfinals for tonight on my page here. Let me just pull it up. So, quarterfinal 1 is this match, Legacy Sports and Chiefs. Greyhounds versus Atletico, Kings versus Darksided, and Tainted Minds versus, I think it's Corvode.
Corvidae. It's
Corvode,
it's a
yeah.
very strange name, but I dig it. I dig it. It's actually really interesting, given especially with King's Gaming Club, with the news that broke only yesterday that Wizard is stepping down from the team. That actually broke yesterday that he's going to be stepping away from the team and stepping away from CS. They are trialing a fifth member. It'll be interesting to see how that comes together.
And I find that really sad because, he was a pretty big player in Kings.
Oh,
Like,
he was basically the linchpin of a lot of their sort of keeping them together, and it's going to be interesting to see how they move on with another person at the helm or in amongst their ranks. But we should be going live shortly. We have our 10 in the server.
oh, can you get into the GoTV? Can you?
Yes.
Oh,
And ladies and germs, we are live with the knife round.
are we?
Our first map in this best of three, and
We're gonna have to
is
radio cast.
oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are doing it old school. With a radio cast. Do I sound like I'm on old time radio? Let us run down your starting lineups. On the side of Chiefs, we have Pex, Malta, Alistair, Tux, and Inns. And on the side of Legacy Esports, the giant green tree, we have Sonic, Masidi, Dizzy, Nikaz, and Mizu.
Yeah, take it away because I can't get in, and neither can anybody watching. Sorry.
Well, I'm a lucky man. Chiefs are starting on the counter-terrorist side. They have bought 4 armor and 1 kit and smoke on Tux. And on the side of Legacy, they're starting on the terrorist side. They have 4 sets of armor and 2 flashes and a Molotov on Badger. And that might be a different name to what is listed. Let's do the process of elimination. I do declare that the lineup listed has lied to me. We have Badger and Deoxide.
Oh, and we've got a bit of a more of a problem now. There's too many people on the GoTV. So, we can't connect. Well, you can, but we can't. We'll try and get that fixed. But till then.
It looks like the push from Legacy has basically just been stopped dead. And Mad City was all that was left. Got to take 1 with him, but that was it. That will be 3 alive and the first round on the board for Chiefs. Bit of an all-sub buy for Chiefs Esports Club. A lot of utility and 1 for Mars and 1 M4 being on the board, and basically only power pistols, 3 Deagles, 1 P250 and a CZ in amongst the ranks of Legacy. Whilst putting that M4 to work early on, taking out Badger. Malta having an MP9 and having a bit of a field day, farming a bit of cash for himself, taking out Dizzy and Nickez. And Matt and Deoxide will try to salvage something, but you may have to count. Their blessings and just move on as a bit of formality. Malta and Alistair are low, so they can try to get a cheeky frag and maybe try to snatch a weapon, but not likely.
Again, if you are just joining us, we're having some technical issues with the GoTV, so we are radio casting.
Well, all it is we're just buying time. Doesn't look like any lucky frags will go the way of Legacy. Unless they could catch Inns off guard. No, came close though, but Deoxide has been benched for the round, and now it's only Mad CD 1 versus 5 with head armor. That may factor in. Will the Desert Eagle spread its wings in amongst the ranks? Takes Tuck's head clean off his shoulders. But now they've found out where he is. 2 of the Chiefs players are incredibly low. So anything out that he could do will be worthwhile. But he will take 2 with it, but Pex will finish off the job. That's about as tight as Chiefs would really want it, but they do not carry the M4 over. That may factor in later on. On the side of Legacy, they're just sort of going through formalities again, maybe buying power pistols. Not getting as much done this time. Alistair will say, yeah, my M4 is better than yours, and now 4 stay alive, and only 1 rifle is lost. So, all in all, Chiefs will be happy with that, but the first buy round will be going in now. Looks like the AWP ring out through mid. Obviously letting his presence known to the Legacy players. Maybe suspecting that 2 are up at the top of mid. That's exactly what the case is. They've already pegged a frag at him and smoked him out. They do not want him to be around at all. Nick has heavily tagged already. Does he try to get sneaky onto Alistair? He's having none of it. We'll take him down to connector. Early man advantage for Chiefs Esports on the first buy. Badger will even the odds and take Alistair out of the equation. The only player with a frag so far on the side of Chiefs. At least in this round. The round that is after the third and before the fifth. It is the fourth round of 15 in the first half. And still hold on to that UMP, and that has definitely paid off for him. He's gotten an AK for his troubles. So he's stepping out as he noticed that Tux is sitting behind the ticket booth. He definitely has now. He's letting Orb Shot go. And the pinch came in. Malta with 1-2. Deoxide will take out Malta, but that is it for Legacy. That is 4 of the truck for Chiefs. And Legacy will just have to cop this on the chin. A bit of a curious buy from Badger. He's actually below the 2K mark, but it's probably to bring the money in line with Dizzy. He has a Deagle and armor for those that are wondering. Matt will get a crispy 1 dig on the ends, and Deoxide will do the same to Alistair. Matt was taken out, but he took a body with him, so that, all in all, is a good trade. And now only an MP9, an AK, and an AWP remain for the Chiefs Esports Club. And 4 members are up. And an M4 is now salvaged. So, with that being said, it could get very interesting from here on out. And the A site is left completely bare. But maybe, will Legacy be wise to it? Or will Chiefs cover their tracks? The bomb is making its way out into the site now. And it is starting to be planted. Tux has gotten another slug to the face, but now the momentum has tipped back in the favor of Chiefs, but not for too much longer. Badger and Deoxide will carry 2 weapons over, and that is a round on the board for Legacy. And, oof.
Sorry to interrupt, but we just got a cheer from Unlikely Potato. This is the second time. He's come back and given us 20. So, can we get some hearts in chat?
Thank you, Unlikely Potato.
And, good news. Very good news. We now have the Go TV and we'll be able to go in game right now.
Fantastic. Our radio broadcast will soon be shutting down. And this is looking to be the second gone round. Yes, indeed. And Malta has been taken down early. If only you could have heard that. It looked like Dizzy Lab just took Pex's head clean off. Through the box as well at B's site. That will be a 5 versus 3 in favor of Legacy. Bomb's still at top mid. It is now making its way through T apartments. Badger on the lurk. Ins is wise, so will take him out through the ladder room. Tucks in a strong position sitting at bench on the B side. If the bomb makes its way there, he will definitely be there to shut it down. And Ins, being a pivotal man in ladder room, has not moved the muscle and has taken out 2 so far in this round. And now it is a 3 versus 3. The bomb is slowly making its way out to the A site with only 1 defender hit in the form of Alistair. And Alistair has definitely called this out. Will's trying to prevent Deoxide from putting the bomb down. No dice. Matt CD and Dizzy will get 1 frag apiece, and now it is up to Tux. What will he do? Will he bank on getting a frag and breaking his way to the site, or will he retreat? And given that Pokeball just got thrown at him, it looks like he is hightailing it and trying to hold on to his AWP. And Matt CD will not let him, and that is a second round on the board for Legacy, and a tough decision for Chiefs to make, given Ins has $4,000 and everyone else is basically stone broke. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the future. You now have vision.
Welcome to CappingTV.
Now we're actually the vision part in television. Only pistols on the side of Chiefs at the moment.
Who are you watching?
I currently have my eyes on Dioxide, actually.
Good choice.
And
Badger.
Badger sits Malta down.
So they're trying to go for a mid. Bit of a different push.
Well, I think they're just feeling about for a stack of some kind because they know that Chiefs are completely broken and probably only have power pistols in their possession, which is very true. And Badger is heavily tagged on 2 HP, so they have to be very wary of that.
Nickers, who's pushing in now onto B, he takes down Pex. Gonna head into markets. See if we can find anything else. Sorry.
Nickers just Batmaned him straight out of apartments, and that will be all the utility required and expended by Legacy into the ladder room, a position that he's very, very familiar with and very proficient with. Trying to go toe-to-toe with Matt CD, surviving with 9 HP and now with no HP. He has been sat down by Matt CD, and now only Tux, him versus the world, and really get the upper hand on Nick as he got the dig on him, but did not drop. And that is number 3 for Legacy, and the potential tying round coming our way, round number 8. And Chiefs are buying into this, but it's going to be doable, but not ideal. 4 M4s. Utilities spread out pretty evenly, aside from Malta, who only has a flash. But it may be just trying to bait out Badger again! Only living with 1 HP, but gets the upper hand on ins. Alistair will finish the job. Because moving out, the A's site will sit Malta down. Alistair, too many bodies to look at, takes out Mad CD, but will be sat down by the end of the round. I'm tripping over my tongue, and now it is a 2 versus 2. Please don't tie under my feet again, Mr. Tongue, and that will be Pex getting the head of Dizzy.
Dioxide, he is heading for B. Will they stop?
Full legging it. He's full legging it, and it looks like they are basically going to sit on their hands and see what happens.
Yeah,
but
Pex is watching markets. He knows that he's going to come straight for markets once he plants. So, uh-oh. Coming now, actually. Oh.
Dioxide's put the brakes on.
Whoa.
Jewel is on, but Dioxide came out worse for wear on that one, only living with 8 HP, and has made this defense a hell of a lot harder. The bomb will go down.
Right. Gonna do a little stare up. Tux couldn't find anything. Utilities out, going in. Dioxide's got the upper hand though. However, it was not good enough. Takes him down. That's going to be 5-3 in favor of Chiefs. The first map, what it is, Mirage.
Indeed. Actually, I would like to know, because this is not outlined on the HLTV page. What were the picks in order? Did Chiefs get the first pick, or did Legacy?
Wait, I can actually find that. If you give me a moment, I'll get it for you. You can take out the push, and I'll grab it.
Another fully bought round for Legacy. Definitely doable to tie it all up. It will be all about how they play it.
Okay, so, just taking some spam. We've also got the statistics here. Legacy took the first pick. They banned Nuke. Tux took out Cash. And then Legacy's pick was Mirage. Tuck's pick was Train. Minus Overpass for Legacy. And minus Inferno for Tux, leaving Cobble as the final map.
Cobble is a final. Interesting. It was getting to a trend for a little while that Cobble would actually be a pick. But
Yeah,
I guess it's sort of been shying away, but we're going back to the classics of Mirage, Train, and the like.
absolutely.
Chiefs of the Legacy were at a stalemate until Dizzy let his orb do the talking and take out Malta. A lot of the Legacy members gathering outside T Connector. SCD strengthening the attack of Legacy even more, and Badger doing even more than that. Taking out Inns, and now a 2 versus 5 for Pex and Tux, and if I were a betting man, they are going to leg it and have no part in trying to retake the site. That looks like that is exactly what they are going to do.
Well, they've got a nice AWP there, and a M4, so you know it's good to stay. But Badger, he is there. Tux takes him down, but now they know where they are, so they're gonna come in forces. Tux takes down Nekos, and here comes Matt CD.
Legacy
Flash.
should be very wary for this. Send no more bodies. Legacy should actually hold off and just hang on to what they've got.
Like, they've
Actually,
already killed half of the team of Legacy just from that.
Yeah, and that's forced a lot of rebuys, which, looking at it now after the bonuses came through, was not as big of a detriment as I was assuming, but still, Nickaps is completely tapped out after his buy. Sure, it's a full buy, but still, if he gets killed and has to rebuy everything, it could be a detriment in the future. Only pistols and the carried over M4 on the side of Chiefs. More than likely just trying to damage the economy of Legacy, just to try to keep it in check. Because the Oxide is on nearly 8 grand, and he'd definitely be the bankroller for the team. So the more buys you could force out of him, the better the chance for Chiefs to run away with it. But Dizzy at his AWP will say, sit down, Alistair. Badger will sit Malta down. And the main aim of the game here, I feel for Chiefs would be just try to keep Pex alive, because he is holding the big gun. And Pex got a frag for his troubles, taking out Mad CD, but Badger will reply to Inns, and now Pex on a current 3K with that salvage rifle. It is now paying off in a huge way, and the bomb is downed on the A site. So Pex is trying to reposition, perhaps not preventing a plant, but getting a strong upper hand and hopefully getting a helping hand from Tux. Now, this next 45 seconds or so will be curious to watch what Pex does. Now Tux got taken out, and now Pex is all that's left. Taking out his feet is Dizzy Life underneath him, and that will be Pex taken out of the round. But a lot of damage done by Chiefs. And although Deoxide is on 10 grand and Dizzy is on 8, everybody else is basically stretched thin, and a lot of people are getting buys for them. If there's anything else you can feign, it's intelligence. 4 Deagles and a CZ, and Malta, ooh, making a quick impression. They need to kill the dragon to get more gold. Sorry, I don't follow League, so I can't think of any crafty jokes about the Chiefs. But it is a 4 versus 4, and basically a mere formality. All these power pistols will be doing nothing but trying to salvage a weapon. And that's exactly what Pex did, taking MassCD's head clean off its shoulders.
That was a huge frag.
Yes, indeed, and getting his hands on an AK to boot. For basically $800, he has a $3,200 rifle. A huge return on investment in the grand scheme of things, and a 3 versus 4 for Legacy to try to steady the ship. But Pex is the one that's there and the one that's with the rifle. And Deoxide got ripped out by Alistair. And now Nikaz is on an island all on his own and he's stuck in apartments with the bomb.
Good night, Nikaz, I say. He could back out here and save his AK, or he could plant and risk losing it.
Oh, they know. They know. They're moving up short now.
Smoke in the middle of the point. I think there's somebody in there. It's pretty obvious. Here we go. Nikaz, he takes down Alistair though. A really nice frag. But Pex finishes him off with a headshot.
That's definitely going to be a momentum changer for Chiefs. And that is how, with that bomb being defused. Oof. And they salvage the AWP as well. That is how they will take the lead. Oof. After anything like that, that salvage rifle was huge. Never mind, that was a couple of rounds ago. They only had power pistols. They only had 4 Deagles and a CZ. And they ended up wiping Legacy out. Sure, they only had 1 member surviving, but they got a huge rifle out of it.
Huge.
Now, definitely a very scattered buy for, well, maybe not as scattered in terms of actual weaponry, but in the grand scheme, maybe because of utility, because Nikaz is basically dry. All he's got is an AK to his name. There is full utility on MassCD, Dizzy, Badger, and Deoxide, but Chiefs is also not doing too great. Not having a lot to hold off aside from a couple of incendiaries. Legacy getting the upper hand early, Deoxide taking out 2, Malta now responding, but Legacy basically strung out their way to the A site, and that is going to leave Pex in a 1 versus 4. Pex has been a man of high regard in the scene in Australia and New Zealand, but you must admit that this is a very tall order, and now he's been torn down to 39 HP. I'd be hightailing it and hanging on to what you've got.
Well, it is just Pex who is voting to save here. I thought that he could probably clutch it, but obviously not. And now the T's are escaping from A.
I bet that Pex, when he took that duel, he was banking on actually getting away clean and not being tagged, but he got tagged very heavily, and just aired on the side of caution just to carry the rifle over. That's exactly what they did.
Right, well, for AKs and a AWP on the T and 1 SMG, 3 rifles, and as I was just about to say AWP, the AWP went down, Alistair.
In dramatic fashion too. MassCD does take it out with the MP9 of Malta.
Whoa!
And Nico's just got caught in a wild Pokemon. Good night, Malta.
If you saw Malta, that was, yeah.
Unlucky, my dude. And now it is down to a duel in amongst that flurry of frags, a 1 versus 1. Dizzy against Tux. And the weapon advantage is definitely for Dizzy, given he has the actual big green gun. It's been forever since I've been able to say it and have it make sense. The bomb is down, and Tux looks like he's not having any part of it. Or we will wait in the next 10 seconds to see what he is going to do.
See, he could have gone and looked for Alistair's AWP that he dropped when he died.
That looks like that's exactly what he's doing, because he dropped near T connector.
Pex, Dizzy Life is going for a no scope. No, he isn't. He scopes in, gets the kill on the Tux. That is 6-7.
There's a lot of patience from Dizzy just to hold that position, because once the bomb went down, he did not move from that position at all, and just bided his time. It's like, I know he's coming around because I just saw him go up mid. And that pulls Chiefs into a bit of a disarray. But they will have to save to make the last round of the half worth a damn for potentially getting a 8-7 half. Hins gets a nice ride with the P2000, but will he be able to retrieve the rifle?
Ooh, Tux, that flick onto Nickers. Really nice headshot.
And speaking of Tux, that is all that is left. But he does have an AK for himself and control the bomb in T-Connector.
That's the third time he's been left by himself.
He's the islander man. He ends up being on an island and having to swim ashore or something like that. I am terrible with metaphors. But now we have reached the penultimate round of the first half. Can Chiefs make it a 8-7 half, or will Legacy get the more favorable for them at the change? A 9-6 with a scout and an ump on the side of Chiefs, and Alistair and Pex. But most pretty optimal utility aside from Malta. And Legacy are fully bought out. Now, we wait and see what they are going to do to cap off this first half.
Nickers gets a quick shot on the Tux. It looks like the rest of T are looking to fake A.
They just collapsed hard onto Chiefs in a flurry of frags, and now just left Pex all alone with his Heckler and Koch UMP 45, and that is going to be it.
Puck and Pex. And Dizzy Life puts him down. Chiefs conceded 9-6, and it is half time here.
He definitely did send him for a spin, and that is 9-6 at the change.
Well, you know, there was a lot of good plays by Chiefs there, but they weren't ready to frag. So hopefully on the T side they do much better.
Mirage is a strange beast in competitive play. Most of the time, people will say that it's a T-sided map, so this will definitely be a true test. If Legacy does get this pistol round, though, it'll make it a lot harder for Chiefs to even salvage this or make it respectable. 3 sets of utility on the side of Chiefs, with 2 people being armored, and all 5 people on Legacy having armor to their name. Definitely not banking on the bomb going down, but that looks to be exactly what will happen. The row of smokes cutting off connector. Alistair!
What was that?
Oh, he just went all Assassin's Creed on them. ESEA would be proud of you, Alistair, taking out 2. And now Dizzy and Matt CD are all that is left, and Legacy has no idea what hit them. That was just insane.
That was mad. And Dizzy Life? Oh, Malta.
Good on him for trying, but he will be sent to the grave.
And now it is just Matt C. Gonna try and do something. Oh!
Alistair! Oh, I wanted him to go for the shank so bad, but that caps off a really impressive 3K from Alistair, and that makes it a 7th to the name of Chiefs Esports Club. And now, my good Sir Mitch, we have a map on our hands.
Sorry. Yeah.
And 4 umps and an AK on the side of Chiefs, and I'm not sure how to feel about this. Most of them have utility, one of them doesn't, being Malta. Again with the power pistols. 157, 2 Deagles, a P250 on the side of Legacy.
They're facing the wrong way as well.
Perhaps trying to sneak their way through a wall of smokes that they put out. But if it works, why not? Why not just keep doing it until it stops working? It's the old adage of fighting games.
I can see a
Now, Matt
pattern
CD,
here.
it is
Matt
CD and his Matt CD is the island of legacy.
He loves to sit in the ladder room just to wait for everyone to die.
He is Inz's counterpart. And speaking of Inz, Matt will send him to the bench for the second round of the second half. Will he be able to salvage his rifle is the bigger question. Never mind, he has a submachine gun. I could still call it a rifle, right? Because it sounds cooler. It has more syllables.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh.
Cue the Jaws music, but no dice. Matt City will survive and carry over, but only one to drop on the side of... Never mind, it was two. I didn't see another one go down. I'm blind! Why do I cast? Stable, a back 10 on the side of Inz, and still sticking with the 3 subs. Really want to see Inz and see how he's been doing. Because he's at the bottom of the scoreboard with 8, but there hasn't been a lot of frag disparity between the side of Chiefs. They all feel like they've been pulling their weight. Legacy stacking the B site. Maybe a solo member has been sent in to clean out and sniff a stack. I expect some Malta just making it quicker for this formality to conclude, and that is exactly what happens. We have a tie game, and that will be the first gun round that will come our way very shortly on your Twitch television screen, because that's what the TV in Twitch TV stands for.
Well, Twitch TV, yeah. Just having some problems with Nightbot. Seems they forgot to update.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to reiterate that technology is very, very hard. A AWP on the side of Dizzy Life, which we know that is his strongest weapon by quite some margin, but he has no utility to contribute. That will be on the rest of Legacy to pull up the slack. Full on A execute on the side of Chiefs. It looks like they're just hightailing it straight up. The wall of smokes are now going up as we speak, and that was a swift take. All that remains is one on the site, and Mad City will be taken out in jungle. Badger is still up though at the ninja spot. Dizzy will take out Pex, and Deoxide will sit Inz down. This defense is falling apart so quick because Badger was not taken care of, and Nikaz will take out 2 and make it a done deal for the first gun round for Legacy. That will leave 4 alive as well.
What a mess.
Oh, it started off so well, but I was almost certain, mind you, I'm not a player, I'm only a caster, but I was certain that Badger would have been taken care of very soon. Very quick, but he just remained hidden for long enough to put Chiefs at ease. Chiefs are able to buy again though, so it's definitely Legacy not out of the woods yet and able to sort of breathe easy. They do have another colossal round to deal with. Nikaz making a good start. Sitting Alistair down, one of the high-value targets for Chiefs so far, if you're going purely by frag statistics. Nikaz will sit Tux down, but Pex will get the better of Nikaz. So a 3 versus 4 for Chiefs. What do they do? Their bomb is still stranded at top mid. Good thing for Chiefs, Legacy are not aware of this yet. But depending on who they send to sort of float around, if they do at all, could end up being a bit of a pain in the neck. Badger and Dizzy will sit Inz and Malta, and now Pex, you have the bomb on your back. 4 CTs to find. Good luck. They're all counting on you.
We salute you. Dioxide. Just waiting.
Biding his time.
Pex, quick move. But Badger takes him down from Palace.
Badger was sitting around Palace too and probably called that there were footsteps around T-Connector. It's like, that's not our guy. Let's deal with him. And deal with him they did. Now 11 rounds on the board for Legacy, excuse me, and 2 flashes on the side of Chiefs. So it's looking either they'll just try to get the bomb down by blunt forcing a sight.
Dizzy Life, he's got too much to chew right here. Pulls out the pistol. Nothing he can really do. Dioxide, that was an amazing 3k.
Hex will salvage it. Hex will salvage a weapon for his troubles, but not for too long. Dioxide will get a bit of an ego stroke with that for that eco 3k round. There was an attempt, basically. They just legged it down mid and saw what happened. Now a buy round on the cards, and it's looking to be full utility, but still the orb of Dizzy in play. And Dizzy, all things considered, has been an absolute menace. He's been averaging around a kill a round if my math checks out. Currently at 20 and 10 with the 2 KD, and Monster's been taken out of the round already. Now 5 versus 4. Alistair will square the ledger, taking out Badger. Badger will be back next round because Honey Badger don't give a shit. Well, don't give a toss. I have to keep it PG. Now the bomb will go down, and even in terms of manpower, this is even a 4 versus 4. But in terms of HP, you will barely put it in favor of Legacy, but not for too much longer. Tux will make that happen. And on the back of this, maybe they're banking on Dizzy Life's or one of the rifles to come to life to make this retake a reality, but they're running short on time. Hex and Alistair will be singing out, and now all it is Dizzy Life versus 2. Whoa! 2 of them are very bad. And that is Tux taken out with good authority, but Pex will send him to the grave, but die to the bomb.
You know, he could have got that, but I don't think there was enough time to defuse.
No, he knew the time was out. He just had to leg it away. But he took a lot of bodies with him. In essence, he wiped out the entire team with a little bit of help from his teammates and some plastic explosives. Now another buy round of the cards. 12 in favor of Legacy, 10 in favor of Chiefs. And they're going tooth and nail. Dizzy and Tux will get frags to their name in this round. Nickaz will get his feet a little toasty in a little campfire.
I'm liking how at the start of rounds Dizzy is selecting new spots to AWP from. It's really effective.
It's one of the most annoying things for a CT to deal with is anyone that's official with an AWP on the T side that is constantly changing their position. It's the old boxer adages of sticking and moving, just constantly changing a position, making it harder for your opponent to breach whatever you try to protect. Tux will take down Nickaz, and now it is a duel, a 1 versus 1 between Matt CD and Tux.
Tux has a lot of time here, so if he plays it right, he can get it, and he takes down Matt, making it 12-11.
There's a 3k on the round for Tux as well, and that frag was essentially gifted to him, all things considered, because all he did was just creep in a frame. It's like, I know you're coming. And he just held and let it go. And more than likely, barring any shenanigans like one of the rounds of the first half, we should see a tie game again at 12 apiece. But in Australian CS, anything and everything can happen. Alistair will let that UMP go to work. Now, if you're Legacy, given the current state of affairs, you're almost coming to a tie round, you can make a buy, given the bonus that they will get. It'll be a round bonus that will get a decent buy in them, what do you like? How do you spread your economy? Do you get that AWP in the hands of Dizzy, or do you just go for the rifles?
I
That'd be
think.
something for them to consider.
Hmm. Well, Alistair. Ooh, it looks like Matt has seen a couple feet up in the apartment.
The pitter patter of little lemmings above the heads of the legacy players.
Will we see a Lemmings push?
Doesn't look like it. They are very spread out and very cautious, and rightfully so, of a stack. And Dizzy in a little bit of a cheeky position, but Malta will take care of that. And Malta a little bit paranoid to put the bomb down, but the bomb will eventually go down. Badger and Dioxide are the only two survivors. And Pex, given he was very low, but he did have a rifle in his hand, he will go down, but Inns will avenge him. And now it is Badger with a 5.7, a flash, and armor to his name. So more than likely he will just try to hang on to that. If he can somehow sneak out and pick up the weapon that was dropped by Chiefs, that would be a mighty big help. But it doesn't look like it's... Oh, it doesn't look like it's safe to do so at all. Look at Tux. Tux moving in there. Almost cheek to cheek, and Badger will be sent to the grave. No 5.7 for you, my good man. And that will be a tie round and a bye round on the way between Chiefs and Legacy. We were all expecting a barn burner for this best of 3 series to start off the Mountain Dew League playoff section, and whew, it's delivering on all fronts. And
I think what the right thing to do here is to give away this map and then smash the second map, take it to a third, then you've got a monopoly of a 50-50.
I can't agree with that, honestly, especially given it's not entirely unsalvageable, especially with the round loss bonus actually being a factor for the CTs now. That'll be something to consider. If the Chiefs get to 13 or 14, it'll definitely be a lot easier for Legacy to claw their way back. But another thing you have to consider is that Chiefs will bolster their economy. The more people you leave they leave alive. Still at a stalemate with a minute to go. Nickez will open proceedings. The bomb is stranded in apartments. Inns moving in on short. They haven't spotted the bomb yet, I believe. Inns will sit Nickez down and smoke himself off. The bomb is down on the site now, and now it is up to Chiefs to take the site. Malta will be dispatching of Dizzy behind the counter, and Dioxide as well. That's a 2 to his name. They're fleeing for dear life. Inns will be silenced for the round. MassCD will survive, but on 9 HP. But with the M4, the defuse kit, and the armor to his name, it's too much value to hang on to. Same with Badger with his utility. And that will be 13 for Chiefs. Tux is absurdly close. Batman's the hell out of MassCD. Surprise! And now the sole survivor would be Badger on that round. Now a 13 and potentially a 14th. Yes, they will have to cop this on the chin, barring any repetition of an earlier round on the Chiefs' counter-terrorist side.
Absolutely, and it looks like we are going for a AA push here. Pex at the front, going to open up this push. Dizzy Life, he's looking the wrong way. Will he hear the footsteps? He's now aware. Gets a frag onto Pex. Gets taken down by Inns. Inns also takes down Dioxide. And now the CTs are aware.
The pivot of this entire round will probably be Badger in his position. And now his position is known with the move across to that Molly had forced. I'm just slowly moving out to the site. Tux will take out the only rifle left, and now the Deagle Master, Mad CD, sure he's good with that Deagle, but not too much he could do against a Kalashnikov rifle. And that is 14 on the board for Chiefs ESC, and potentially Legacy's last hurrah to prevent match points on the first map for Chiefs. Badger being tagged up a little earlier than he'd probably like. Yes, indeed. Malta will be taken out early. Now, the first advantage in quite a while for Legacy. At least I would feel that way. And Badger will definitely be earning his paycheck. Currently on a 2, make that a 3K. Taking out Pex. And now Alistair and Tux is all that is left of this push. The bomb is on the back of Tux and his orb, but given that it probably was spotted, it's only a matter of time before he is forced to step out into the wide, wide world and see a bunch of angry, angry trees. And now Tux is on an island all on his own with a bomb on his back and an orb in his hand. And that'll be the end of that. A Badger with a huge round. 4 frags to his name, and Legacy are edging this ever closer. Definitely not out of the woods yet, but definitely making it interesting for the people that are invested in this match. Chiefs, of course, buying into this, but definitely going to the bottom of the coffers. With only 3 members in 4 figures, and only 1 member over $2,000 to his name. Badger, the star player of last round, will not be able to attempt to do a repeat performance. He's just taken out of the equation. Really biding their time. Now, what does Legacy want to do in this situation? They do have plenty of time to wait for whatever the terror side decides to do. For the terrorists are gathering outside of the A side. It looks like an executor's on the cards. They're going to leg it before Legacy can get too complacent. Dioxide's still at CT. The gap at the bottom of the smoke. Malta will be made to pay dearly for a little mistake. Dioxide making that orb pay dividends, taking out 2 so far. Defense now holding strong, and Legacy not going out without a fight. Now at 3 versus 2 now. Just the frags are being shared around for the most part in amongst the ranks of Chiefs ESC. And 25 on Dizzy. Oof, he has been a force to be reckoned with, which we have repeated quite often now. Chiefs are being left very short on time, and on the back of that frag, they may have their hand forced. A 2 versus 2. The bomb will go down, and Dioxide tried to prevent it, but it was not to be. Alistair and Tux, the only 2 left to defend. Alistair will take down Dioxide. Now 1 versus 2 for Matt CD. Definitely in his favor in terms of HP, but it's not that much good when a single AK-47 bullet will be applied to your skull. And match point for Chiefs Esports Club, a 15th round on the board. And Legacy will have to summon all the strength and might of the mighty oak that represents them to force this to overtime. And 1 ump, 4 rifles, and a Clarion in the mix, a FAMAS on the body of Dioxide. Definitely very stretched, going for broke. Full utility on the side of Chiefs, and no orb in sight. So this is a pure gunfights and utility usage to be on the way. Definitely in the feeling out stages of a very crucial round. Legacy has players that are very well seasoned in this type of situation, though. It'd be interesting to see whether they are cracking under the pressure or not. Nikaz with a huge tell will take out Tux on the flank, and that will force Chiefs to do a very split-second choice. Malta will take out Dizzy though. So definitely squared the ledger. Inns will sit Nikaz down for potentially the final time. 4 versus 3 for Chiefs, and the bomb is making its way into ladder room. 30 seconds to go time. This crossfire that is still on the B side could prove very crucial in a couple of seconds. Mad City will take that Alistair. And that's changed their focus. They do have the time to do it, leaving a rotate on a very slow timer. And the bomb will likely go down, barring any shenanigans. Malta will sit Dioxide down. The numbers are now even at 2 versus 2. Tux is heavily tagged. So he will be a valuable asset to try to prevent, or just to be sneaky and be a nuisance. Because he is still a body on the field, no matter how low you are. SCD will sit Tux down. Ins at a 1 versus 2. He's been a sharpshooter for a long time. Finding his time. SCD will stick it? No, he will be taken out by Ins, and has he bought enough time? It would appear so! That is a game and a map for Chiefs ESC. 16 rounds to 13. And now we will move on to our second map, which is Train, and we will do that momentarily. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Cyberwaste, and you are watching CappingTV and Season 26 of ESEA's Mountain Dew League. Ladies and gentlemen, frag fanatics all around the world, it is shagging time! The second map between Chiefs Esports Club and Legacy Esports is now underway. We're going through the 9th round to determine the sides, and Legacy will get the upper hand on that. To run you down in case you were away, Chiefs are now 1-up in the series after winning the opening map Mirage 16 rounds to 13.
Absolutely.
And I have lost my place on the page on my other monitor. I am good. Looks like Legacy are on the counter-terrorist side, and Chiefs are on the attacking side. Fully armored on the side of Legacy and fully armored on the side of Chiefs. So it's just gonna be an aim duel. Let's see how this all will pan out.
Don't forget the decoys. They're already like. They're super important, obviously.
Yeah, of course. They can never forget the decoys. Badger taking a lot of damage early on, but he's still a body on the field. Nickez will take out 2 with the USP. But the bomb is making its way towards B. And probably all they're aiming for now after pulling a couple of CTs away will be to get a plant and make it a bit more difficult. And that's how you do that with Pex taking out Dioxide. Looking at a 4 versus 3, but with one of the hardest bomb sites to retake in the entire game, and Pex will get another frag to his name. Malta and Alistair will also chime in, and now Badger is all that is left against 3 very angry teams with the bomb ticking away, saying, "Get out of my train yard!" And that is exactly what Alistair will do. And that is a 2K for Alistair and Pex, and that is Chiefs getting the pistol round to their name. While we have a time to breathe, I will run you down your starting lineups. On the side of Legacy, we have ManCD, Dizzy, Badger, Nickez, and Dioxide. And on the side of Chiefs, we have Malta, Inns, Pex, Alistair, and Tux. And three rifles and 2 umps on this side of Chiefs. And 2 members of Legacy armored up with power pistols. 1 CZ that has already paid off, taking out Pex at Pop Dog, but Matt will say, yeah, goodbye, at the hands of Alistair. That's taking a lot of damage for his trouble. Nick has definitely saying, yeah, I got a scout and I'm not too shabby with it, taking out 2 so far, and thinning the numbers out quite substantially, a 2 versus 2, and definitely making them pay. And given that Legacy did not invest a lot in terms of armor and things like that, we would call this a victory for them in quite a wide margin. Malta barely living on 1 HP, but as I always say, is still a body on the field, no matter how much HP is to your name. Definitely put the brakes on now. The bomber is back in heaven. No, in hell, excuse me. And looks like Legacy are trying to do a pincer and maybe hoping to catch them unawares or catching the bomb carrier on the cross, and that's exactly what he did. Malta is sat out for the round, and Tux, forgive me, was actually the bomb carrier. And now the bomb will be down. Moving towards Z now. And the body advantage is in favor of Legacy. But they'd still be cheering after everything that has been said and done. Is he on top of the bomb train and will get the 1 dig onto Tux and have enough time to defuse the bomb, say, hey, Dioxide, can you go fetch me a rifle? That would be splendid. And that's exactly what it will do. They will carry 2 AKs over into the round and make it 2 rounds gone and 1 round apiece.
Absolutely, and looks like Legacy are buying up this round. 3 rifles and 1. Is that an AWP or is it an SG? I can't see.
That is an SG, my man. That is a scout. And Matt City hightailing it to Pop Dog, perhaps expecting a waterfall played down Pop Dog, but that doesn't look like it's going to be likely. It looks like they're moving through the brown holes again and perhaps trying to crack the B side, maybe aim to get the bomb down. Dioxide will take up Malta, and barring any anything strange happening, which can happen, I will keep reiterating, this is Counter-Strike. Anything and everything can happen, but MadCD will sit one down with the MP9. Tux did get a 1 dig, a crispy one at that, but that will be all he will get to his name. And Legacy will not be too fussed with everything that just went down. And we'll carry the scout over, which is really interesting, and keep the AWP in play. Perhaps doing a pseudo double AWP setup, or Badger feeling comfortable with the scout on his back. I'm not sure.
We'll find out. Dizzy.
Indeed.
Just trying to see if we can capture anything. But it looks like we are going for a B, unless they're going to go drop down.
They do have a lot of time to play with. It's only, say, 30 seconds into the round. They can afford to try to bait out a lot of utility from the CTs and maybe lull them into a false sense of security and just blunt force onto the site. Badger holding down Ivy with the scout in his hand. Probably expecting action to come, but it is not to be at the moment. Lots of bodies gathering out in front of Pop Dog. They were doing the totem pole in Pop Dog. Matt did get one, but Alistair will trade about. Nickez will get on the board.
And it is a 2v4 here. Make that a 2v3.
And Alistair almost getting another one to his name and making it dead even, but it is not to be. And one thing to note, the bomb will be down. It's not. I haven't quite noticed whether or not the CTs have caught it yet and planned accordingly. Well, it won't matter unless if you take out all the bodies, and now Alistair is all that's left, and only 28 HP to his name. If you can somehow siphon all these into a trio of 1 versus 1s, he's got the bomb on his back now. So it looks like the Oxide's prepared. And that's exactly what he is, a three-man advantage for Legacy and 3 rounds to their name. And barring, yep, it looks like Chiefs will be aiming to take another one on the chin and maybe go into another gun round for round number 6. Only 1 dig on the rest of P250s on the side of Chiefs. So, will we see more crispy 1 digs out of Alistair or any of his cohorts? I hope so, because they're always satisfying to watch.
Alistair playing a bit of snakes and ladders in Pop Dog. And they are looking to see what they can find in a Nickez takes down Alistair. And Malta takes down Matt C. Nickez also gets a frag onto Tux. And he could get a frag on Pex, who has the bomb, but he doesn't.
A bit too risky to go for, but the bomb is still in possession of Pex, and Inns with the P250 will silence Badger. But Inns did take a lot of damage for his troubles. He's only on 7 HP, but still a bomb carrier.
Dizzy life over at CT takes down Malta. And
so now Pex and Inns only with P250s and only the bomb in between them, maybe wanting to perhaps emulate a buddy system where they just meat shield each other and get the bomb down, but even then, with the weaponry that's on offer, it's highly unlikely, but I would like to see it.
They've got 30 seconds to plant here, so they really should start to initiate the push here. And he does, takes down Inns, and Dioxide finishes it off and takes down Pax 4-1.
And Nick has already, sure, most of them are eco frags, but he's currently sitting on 9 and 3. Whew, mama, he's definitely going to be a player to watch. It was actually the player to watch on the HLTV, if memory serves. So is definitely earning that accolade. But now a fully bought out CT and T side for Legacy and Chiefs. So now the true test begins. Sound the gong. It has begun. Ins and Tux. Coming out into Ivy has definitely spotted a shot of someone. That someone is Badger. And has perhaps put a smoke to coverage tracks, but he's going for it again. Will it pay off? Nikaz has dropped the bomb carrier at the T connector, sitting Alistair down for the round. And Pex definitely trying to set up an A execute, but if the bomb is down, that's going to be all for naught. I just love the third-person models. It's like he's just standing there with a giant alcohol bottle in his hand with a cloth in it. Like, what am I meant to do with this? He has no idea. Ends pushed out of Ivy. Be interesting to see what he does, given that your number 3 man of Badger is still up and lurking about. If he hears any pitter-patter of footsteps, he'll definitely call it out. And that's exactly what he did. Nikaz will take out Ins. And now it's...
Takes down Nikaz, and they are into A now. It is...
Is he eating a lot of fire?
Ooh. Tux on 8 HP. It's Dioxide versus Tux here.
And Badger being an absolute nuisance, lasting for that long. But the bomb went down, but his HP was not on his side. Definitely not. And that will be number 5 for Legacy. But a very, very scary series of events there for Legacy, where it could have gone spectacularly wrong if they took out any more of the CTs, especially Badger, who was sitting around way back past Ivy and looking between the two carriages, the 2 trains near CT.
Well, it looks like we are going in to B here. Everyone is going no stranders. And Dioxide is going to be the first one to find out.
Sending the bro pile out. And it looks like only Maz CD and Dioxide will be there to defend. But Dioxide's holding strong so far. Will put Pex out of his misery. But the bodies have spilled out. Will the bomb go down? Yes, it does. But at what cost? With Alistair being all that is left, and now none that is left. A full 5-man survival rating for Legacy. And now this is when it may start to get very, very dicey and very difficult for the Chiefs in terms of economy to punch through. And they will be forced to make a choice. Looks like they are going to go for it and have no choice. They need rounds on the board now before... Well, maybe it's even too late. Legacy's economy has already started to spiral. Like 10k on Dioxide, nearly 10k on Dizzy.
Well, all they need to do here is pick up a couple more rounds and they will be able to keep their currency up.
Not if Dizzy can keep doing things like that, moving straight up Ivy and taking Ins out very early. So pre-firing set and A positions for an A execute. Perhaps thinking that they'll go early. Malta will get the better of Dioxide this time, so now we're at even footing, even manpower. Flare of frags will go through. Nikaz, Mazidi, Malta, Tux. Malta is now on a 2k. Now, Dizzy and his giant AWP is all that is left for Legacy. But to his advantage, both Malta and Tux combined for 34 HP.
I don't think they're even aware that he's there.
No,
now they are.
Tux had no idea. Now they know.
Uh-oh.
And now Malta's only on 4 HP. And Still wins the round because the Kalashnikov is stronger. A second on the board for Chiefs, but at what cost? They only kept one alive and will be very, very stretched in terms of economy. They will have to skimp a little bit on their firepower to get full utility to be a useful T side. Tux will definitely open proceedings. Did take a lot for his trouble. Alistair, a pivotal player. I've said that a lot. Malta will be burning Dizzy alive. Say hello to Scorpion for me. Now a 3 versus 3 and a full retake. Malta being dinked down hard. And Inns will be very, very dead being downed by Mad CD. Malta will avenge him. Now 1 versus 2 for Badger. Badger still considered a impact player, at least if last map is any indicator. Now 1 versus 1. But Pex is at the HP advantage, but that had the timing disadvantage of being very, very scary. If he burnt alive, that could have been around for Legacy in the most unorthodox of ways. But a third on the board for Chiefs, and just like that, the entire economy, which I was boasting about not 2 or 3 rounds ago, has completely evaporated. And if Legacy can't get a leg up now, we could be looking at a 5-6 or even a tied scoreline very shortly.
Nickers, with his farmers, gets Alistair. And looks like they are gonna decide if they can go to B or if they want to go to A.
Or even considering who could be a potential threat on our way there. I know it's in the high realms of uncertainty. Hopefully get a upgrade for the boy Badger, who, yeah, he's a crack shot, but he's only got a deagle to his name. So hopefully the rifle that Alistair had can be found and retrieved. Or even better for Legacy, just get more bodies to drop. Moving down to 45 seconds. It is looking to be an A execute if Tux's current positioning is any indicator. And the bomb's current location as well, it is still stranded near T spawn, and it's looked like it is going to be picked up very soon. The nades are starting to come out. The bomb is starting to move. Dizzy is holding strong and taking out Inns. Good night. And the clarion of Nickez will be very, very loud. We'll take out 2, and now Pex is the only one standing. Sure, Nickez will get 1, but that will not be enough. Can Mad City get that? Was that even a weapon? I didn't even notice. It looked like a P250, but it fell at a weird place. But that is a 7th on the board for Legacy. And if you're Chiefs after a round like that and a string like that, only winning 2 rounds and with only 1 surviving, what do? You have to cop this on the chin and maybe give Legacy a potential 9th round when you're able to buy again.
Gone.
Dizzy will be just erasing people. Sure, these are eco frags, but these will be good for the ego, if anything else. So all that is left, maybe be able to get a cheeky frag onto someone, which is exactly what it did on the Nickers, but that will be all for naught. And now Legacy have effectively won out the half. And now the question is, what do Chiefs do? At least their economic situation is indicating to me they can't really fully buy. They can buy enough nades and maybe power pistols for an execute to try to get the bomb down and bolster their economy to close out this half. But Legacy's essentially running away with this and making this look like the train of old with a strong, strong CT side.
You know, Dizzy, he's literally going through his spam email box and he's just going delete, delete, delete with his AWP. Nobody can detach him from his AWP. He is fragging.
Broken Dizzy Hardy. That one's for wrestling fans. No one will get that. That's it. He's sitting at Pop Dog. Perhaps waiting for a free prize to drop down. You saw the legs.
Ooh.
You saw his legs, but thought better of it. We'll maybe just put down a smoke and pedal back.
See, Chiefs have
No.
international experience, so they're aware about Pop Dog.
Yeah. Oh, Pex didn't leave. He's still going. Or did Pex change places?
Snakes and ladders.
I heard him stepping up and down. Inns will get the better of Dizzy. But Dioxide said, yeah, enough of that, mate. Now, only 3 left for Chiefs, and Pex and Alistair on 10 and 3, respectively. Matt CD and Nickez aren't in too much better shape either. But if this defense can hold strong, which it does, it should all be fine and good in the hood. And now, 9 on the board, and now the bye will come in, and now Chiefs will be swallowing their pride and praying that this will fall in their favor. They've been given enough time. They've been given enough money. They've been given enough weapons and utility to play with. Can they prove their worth? Perhaps all the time abroad over the last couple of weeks may be doing harm to them, and they're having a bit of a tough time adjusting to a different play style and train, which train in the grand scheme, at least in Australia and Southeast Asia, is basically a mainstay. Same with Mirage. Please make me sound like I was wrong, Alistair, and that's exactly what he did. He will take Nickez out of the round and give Chiefs the man advantage very early on. We're barely at a minute 10. I said he couldn't line it up either, and will be taken out by Alistair as well, but Badger will put a slug into his skull, as well as Alistair. Now Badger's coming alive. He's gotten a third of his frags in that round, where he did even keel. A 3 versus 3, and the bomb is making its way up round halls, maybe to get in position for a potential run out. Onto which side, though, is uncertain. Looks like he is moving into Brown Halls and maybe moving into the B side. And all that is there is Dioxide. Dioxide's been strong so far. There is no doubting that. He will be calling for cavalry, and that's exactly what has arrived. Dizzy and his AWP, and Dioxide and his M4. Dizzy will be ringing out on the Malta. The bomb will be getting planted, going down. Dioxide whiffing everything. It's definitely called this out, though. Pex will be taken out. Badger. Dioxide will sit, tucks down, and now Pex on 2 HP.
Can he do it?
Will try to salvage this round for the Chiefs.
He's gonna try and re-enter. Grenades thrown out. He's on 1 HP
He's
now.
on 1 HP, and that is all that he will be able to do. Maybe that HE could have been such a pivotal thing. Just the one. Just tickled him. If it tickled a little harder, he would have been erased from the server. But that will bring Legacy into double digits. And if you're Chiefs, after something like that, coming so close, but just falling short. I know you're a veteran squad, you're a seasoned squad. You've been together for over a year now, if memory serves.
Hello, Pop Dog. Here we go. They're going into A here. Malta making his way through. Gets taken down by Nickez, and Inns takes him down as well. A nice trade.
So even firepower. Badger's holding strong. Sitting Inns down.
2v3.
Badger is at half HP, so they can take a little bit more liberties if they spot him in combat. But it's just spotting him which is the problem, and Badger will be erased. Now we are even. 2 versus 2. 2 AKs on the side of Chiefs, but the big X factor will be the orb of Dizzy. So with that smoke screen, Alistair may try to backpedal and change his course of attack. He got legged through the smoke, still surviving on 4 HP.
Don't do
Tux will be aiming to hold the fort until he has backup and the bomb that is on the back of Alistair. If Alistair gets dropped, it could be game over for this round. Dockside caught completely unawares by Tux, and now a 1 versus 2. Alistair, please don't die on the drop. You're good. The bomb will go down. Dizzy has it all to do. Full HP, which is to his credit.
Some lovely comms from Chiefs.
I can't see their chat. Maybe I'm at a better man for it. The Chiefs ESC side will combine to 60 HP. 56 on Tux, 4 on Alistair. Dizzy wanting to spam for a little bit, but they're just playing the positions game. And Tux will say, surprise, you are out. And that'll be a fourth on the board for Chiefs ESC. And we go to the penultimate round of the first half of trade.
Very inconsiderate for Chiefs, but fair enough. 10-4. Last round of the half, as he said. They are going to buy up. Usually the last round and a half is actually the most interesting because, you know, they just throw in all the money they have and they can pull out a lot.
I love Matt CD with the MP9. Just saying, screw head armor. My aim is better. Niguez getting galiled very early on. We're at a minute 25, and Dizzy and Messi will get returning frags. Now lightning quick Dizzy will get a second frag for himself this round, taking out Tux. Now a 2 versus 4. Will the buddy system be initiated between these two with a fully kitted out pair of terrorists?
Looks like they're going down Pop Dog.
Will they have to contend with Messi MP9? They might have heard that and thought it was and may think it's an easy frag to contend with. Not to be. He will sit Alistair. Pex will get him out, but that will be an 11-4 half for Legacy. And now Mitch.
Yes.
Yes, the CT side is considered stronger traditionally. Maybe not this much. If Legacy takes the pistol round, do you think the Chiefs will basically pack it up and go to the final map, which is Cobblestone?
Well, they have been, honestly, they have been throwing the last couple matches in the ESEA. So, you know, we'll find out. Maybe this isn't their strong map. Maybe they want to go to Cobblestone because that'll be stronger for them.
I can't believe that statement because I've actually seen Chiefs play on trade, and it's actually one of their strongest maps, if memory serves. It's just maybe they've played too many different styles.
Maybe they're overused and they know the strats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it looks like we are going for a B rush.
The old RTSD play. Rush that stuff down, my friend. The bomb will go down. Not a casualty yet, and not a single point of HP. And just like that, Malta will take out Dizzy. See you later. Getting tagged up earlier, though. Badger will return in kind. We're going tit for tat here. Badger cutting off a rotation, now having a second frag of his name. Tux will sit Niguez down and make this push even more possible. Maybe not if the Oxide has anything to say about it. We'll sit Pex down. The Molly is down, the bomb making it even more difficult. The smoke will go down. Tux trying to be cheeky, but it's his not to be. The pistol round will go to Legacy, and the bomb will... Did that go off like straight after and everybody went down? And it would appear that is exactly what has happened. None of the body armor survived. So... Bit of a shame for Legacy, but they got the round in the end. 2 SMGs, 2 AKs and a Galil on the field. And Chiefs basically copping this one on the chin. Maybe we will see Legacy get to 13 or maybe even 14 before we see a full gun round out of either side. Malta in one of the, I believe, one of the strongest positions in the early stages of rounds. In's trying to be sharp. He got a dink on a Mad CD, sitting him down to 9 HP. He will have to be wary. Maybe aim to toss his AK away. Keck says, Badger, sit down, bud. But now Legacy are making things a lot more in their favor. But Tux is being a damn nuisance, getting a rifle to his name as well, which is a huge scalp. And now only the early HP, the early attacker of Mad CD and Nikez are all those left. 9 HP on Mad CD as well. So if Tux knows that Mad CD has been tagged, he may be able to win this for Chiefs off of basically nothing. And now the high HP player has been taken care of. Tux on 42, Mad CD on 9. But no kit. Probably only a one and done. Just tap the bomb and Mad CD is too wise to it. Will sit Tux out, but all things considered a huge round for Chiefs. Taking out that much utility and weaponry. Definitely going to make the gun round very interesting when we come to it next round. And only power pistols again. 1 Deagle, 1 ZZ, 3 P250s, 2 Mac 10s, and 3 AKs for Legacy. But the main saving grace is no armor. But we all know how powerful the CZ is if you've watched any measure of Asian Counter-Strike as of late. Tux will be getting one, but that'll be all he'll get as his sat out by Matt CD. As well as another.
So many scrappy fights.
It's been a little bit... They've been playing very loose, which can be fine, but some of these engagements have been, well, much to some of the viewers' hilarity, I'm sure, has been very scrappy. It's basically like Eddie Seed from, say, Eddie the Music was like West Side Story. They're just having a scrap in a train yard. But now the first gun round is dawning up upon us. We have 4 M4s and the AWP on Tux. And no AWP on the side of Legacy, perhaps banking on getting rid of the Chiefs AWP instead and scavenging it from them.
Well, it looks like they are going down alleyway. Gonna try and go through Ivy to A. Or B.
But Tux has the AWP on his back and he is the only person with an eye on it. He's been smoked out and is basically just pulled all the way back. He's having nothing to do with it, but has definitely called that out to his team, I'm sure. It's starting to spill out. The first train car. Tux will sit Badger down. So too many bodies. Did take Nickers before Dizzy sits him out.
And while that's happening, Deox side. He was in behind, he got a nice shot on ends, but obviously they hurt him and killed him. 5-14. 5th round of the second half. Chiefs really need to pick up their step if they want to win this map, or we are going to cash. Yeah, cash.
That is a strange way of saying cobblestone, my man.
Oh,
Malta will take out 2, and
uh-oh. Well, that means I'm having one of those days. I called train overpass and cobblestone cash. Regardless, Inns takes down Badger. It is now a 2v4.
And Nickez is heavily tagged as well. And this could be the string of rounds that Chiefs ESC need to perhaps, if not make the scoreline respectable, even taking the map outright. But Inns will get a little bit too curious, and Matt City will say, "Get out of my yard," and sit him out for the round. Now 3 versus 2 in the favor of Chiefs. Nickez will square that into an even 2 versus 2. I'm spotting someone at Z, and that would be a very good inkling. But it looks like Alistair has started to peel off, and perhaps looking for another avenue of approach. The bomb will approach the site, Alistair catches Nick as trying to pick up a rifle. Now Matt CD is the last line of defense of this planted bomb between Pex and Alistair. And basically, just acting as the bait. Alistair acting as, hey, come get me. And then Pex saying, hey, I'm his friend, don't touch my friend. And that'll be a 6 on the board for Chiefs. And a pivotal series of events could bring Chiefs back into this game and make it a very, at least, respectable scoreline in the grand scheme. Legacy won't be able to buy into this round. There is no way in hell. Perhaps a couple of deagles to catch a couple of the aggressive CTs. Aussies love their deagles, as is a constant. If you watch any Australian CS, they love their power pistols, especially the CZ, the deagle, and the 5.7. You see plenty of crispy one deags. Right on cue. Thank you, Dizzy Life, for proving my point. He will take down Tux very early on. And perhaps spooking Chiefs a little. Maybe not. Alistair and Inns will get Fraser name.
Fuck.
Is he moving towards Ivy? The flames are spreading a little bit too far, and he will be put out of his misery. Inns on 2 HP. You could breathe on him and he'd drop, but he's still standing, and that's better than what a lot of the Legacy members could say right now.
And
the aim here would probably be just to get the bomb down, I feel, but will that be possible?
two more rounds for Legacy here.
Ooh,
Matt, that tap on Tumulta.
That was big and pivotal, and has made this very, very difficult, especially with In's low HP and now no HP. But now only Dioxide remains against Pex and Alistair, and Alistair with the big green gun on his back. Doable, but difficult. Love the patience play from Dioxide. He shuffled that into a 1 versus 1, and Dioxide on a huge pistol play and a metric ton of patience will bring Legacy to match points in the most unlikely of circumstances.
Ooh. Chiefs really need to pull something out of the hat here. Otherwise, we are going to a third map.
Chiefs essentially got pantsed in that round. They got made a fool of.
Inns takes down Matt.
Inns says, stop laughing. And now Pex in turn.
Oh.
A comedy of errors and a lot of scavenged weaponry. Now 5 versus 2 for Chiefs to hang on.
They're actually coming back here. However, Dioxide takes down Pex. Inns, though, trades it. And it is now Dizzy Life with his AWP. Not a lot he can do.
And Tux just rips his head off of his shoulders.
Hello.
Another one for the pool room, and that is 2 straight unlikely round wins for each side. 1 to get Legacy on the match point, and 1 to get Chiefs onto 7 rounds to their name.
Are Chiefs doing this for the frag vid, where they just go 7-15 and then they come back to 16? 15.
They end up forcing OT and brag that they won 19-17 or something like that. It'll be good for their stats and send HLTV into hysterics, and I can't wait for the results. But Legacy, more than likely, please don't make me look like a fool. They will take this on the chin, but Pex and Malta will open proceedings.
Let's see if the cast curse hits us. Well, Badger is on the top of train at A. He's gonna try and see if he can pick anybody up.
With a Glock, he has balls of steel. Ends with the scout as well at the back of the site. Ends will take Badger out now. All it is Matt, the heavy, what I would say the heavy hitter, but that would be Nick as a Dioxide at the moment. But he is the figurehead for Legacy, I feel. Definitely the first name I think of is Matt CD.
Is Matt AFK?
I don't know,
Oh
but
no, he's not.
no, he's not. He's just probably sitting down, contemplating life and contemplating how Legacy will close this out. Because, in all honesty, despite the strangeness of a couple of rounds ago, they can afford to sort of bide their time and maybe not needing to buy in straight away and just ensure every chance that they have.
We seriously thought that Chiefs were going to give away this map here, but they are showing that they don't give up the fight so easily.
I mean, they went around with basically 4 pistols and no armor. So, if that's not pure grit and determination, I don't know what is. 4 CTs will be sitting outside of the A site to perhaps hold off any early aggression. Nobody at Ivy, interestingly, which over the last few rounds there has been almost pretty much every round on the CT side for Chiefs, but it looks like they've changed their plan of attack against the T's. Because he wanted to spread out and leave no stone unturned and not wanting to make any mistakes. They're wanting to keep this match alive.
Badger met a bit of fire. Took him down to 64.
Toasty Badger sounds like a redneck barbecue.
Ooh, I like that.
I wouldn't. That sounds terrible. Still even manpower. Aside from the little bit of damage from Badger, it's basically been even. Not anymore. Pex will sing out and Inns will give him a little bit of a helping hand. CD will get a frag to his name as well, but Inns will hold strong with him and his scouts. And Malta and Tux will get frags on the board as well. Nickers did try to reply, but that will be it. A 9th on the board for Chiefs. And another round of the chin for Legacy. Another eco round for them to trudge through. Well, you can't really call them ecos because they still buy pistols. And a little bit of a utility as well. Flashes on 3 of the members of Legacy. Perhaps aiming to blunt force a site and get the bomb down, if anything else. Let's see, at the head of the snake with his CZ will be quickly dealt with by Inns. Pex looking to line up a frag vid. Dizzy will deny of that, but that would be it.
What is going on? Chiefs, they're coming back.
Video games, bitch. Video games are happening.
I can't believe
and
this.
I can. It's Counter-Strike, and anything and everything can and will happen. And no matter what happens, anyone that puts coin, virtual or otherwise, on this match will never be happy. That'll be a full buy on both sides. Perhaps Legacy wanting to actually close this out and move us on to the giant castle, which is Cobblestone. Tux again, moving back to Z, but not after a parting gift, taking out Badger. Good Lord, this is so quick. Alistair's sort of losing his bearings, but still taking out Dioxide and Nickez. And now the aggression play did not work for Legacy, and Chiefs are hanging on and putting up an iron wall over the last 2 rounds, because they have survived with 4 alive, 3 alive, and 5 alive over the last 3 rounds. And barring anything else, even though Inns, Pex, and Alistair are a little bit tagged up, it looks like they will survive with 4 and go to 11. Unless Matt CD can be a magic man and bring Legacy to another map on the board for them and force us to Cobblestone.
One v4. Matt by himself with an AK and the bomb. and gets sniped all the way from the other end of B. And we've got a pause. Look at that.
Well, it looks like... Is it a technical or a tactical? Whatever
I think
it is.
this would be tactical because, you know, they're probably figuring out a strategy. Or maybe they're throwing up if they should just give away this map and go to the third.
I'd say, given the momentum, if I were Chiefs, I would actually go for it. Especially given Legacy has to save on this round.
Well, the freeze time has been cancelled and we are going into the 12th round here. Let's see what they pull out.
15 for Legacy, 11 for Chiefs. And it looks like a quasi-eco, if I've ever seen it. Dizzy Life just legging it with no care in the world. Will take out Alistair with the CZ. And Chiefs put on the back foot very, very early. And with power pistols and a sharp shot like that from Dioxide on the ends.
Maybe this was Legacy's tactical pause.
Who knows? But Pex is the last line of defense. The bomb will go down. Pex holding strong at the moment. Now the backup will come.
Gets taken down by Dioxide.
Matt and Badger will be all that is left on the Legacy side. Malta and Tux are all that is left on the side of Chiefs. We are at an even footing. Both of them have kits, so they do have a little bit of time to play with. But will they notice? The smoke will go down. Will Malta sit on it?
Oh my god. He doesn't!
Malta's sat on it, and the balls of steel, they have their own gravitational pull, and they will carry the orb over as well.
How?
Well, I guess when you have it all to play for, and you want to show how much grit and determination your squad has, that is a round that will do it. And that is a 12th on the board for Chiefs, and that will leave Legacy in all sorts of mental disarray after that. A full buy on each side, though, so a true test of mental fortitude is on its way. Maxi did!
Did he just go for a knife?
He did indeed! He did indeed, and shanked Malta. He has no care in the world, and I can respect that a lot. 4 versus 4, or maybe 4 versus 3.5, given the HP of Dioxide. Pex will put a M4 round into the skull of Nickez.
Well, if we're talking like that, it's now 2.5.
Now 1.25. Alistair will get the better of Badger. Alistair will take a lot of damage for his trouble though on 14 HP, but Tux will sit Dioxide out, and now all it is Dizzy. Dizzy, we have seen his prowess with the orb. It is nothing to take lightly. But a 1 versus 4 with no bomb control and only one sight line between him and the rest of some very, very, very high headstrong CTs. I will say that for a fact. And poor Alistair! Poor Alistair!
Jeez.
I hope if that was on stream, someone please make that a GIF, send it to him. And say, do not try to fight gravity. You will lose every single time. But it is not a matter in terms of denting the economy. Chiefs will get to 13, a 15th. A 16th round still looms for Legacy, but the time is growing short. And the playbook is getting ever and ever thinner for Legacy. What can work? And you can't really call Legacy trash. Their logo is a tree, which is the most eco-friendly.
Well, actually, I call Legacy
organism
the
that there
Crows
is.
because they are partnered with the AFL team, the Australian Football League, Adelaide Crows.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. If only they were playing Corbinet, I would have been able to make endless jokes. Ooh. But Inns will let the AWP very much be known by taking out Dizzy, giving it a, I'd say an early advantage, but maybe not so much. Legacy will have to get a wriggle on it on the back of 2 frags from Nickez onto Alistair and Tux. They will start to move their way out. Now a 3 versus 4 for Chiefs to try and retake. This is for all the marbles. They have fought so hard and gotten so close. And will they be able to keep the train going, or will it all come to an end?
The bomb is down Malta. He's going in for a quick push with a double flash. He is sitting in Pop Dog and ends with the AK. Gets taken down. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a third map.
Nickez and Dioxide, I take my hats off to you after that effort. We are tied at 1 map apiece, and let's go to the castle. We will go to Cobblestone to conclude this best of 3 on the opening night of the playoffs of ESEA's Mountain Dew League and their 26th season here in Australia. You're watching CappingTV. My name is Justin. They call me Cyberwest on the interwebs. That is Mitch, my right-hand man, and we will be back shortly with a third map. Come in. Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the Mountain Dew League for Australia between Chiefs Esports Club and Legacy Esports. We are on the final map. This series, it's tied at 1. Chiefs taking the first on Mirage, Legacy taking the second on Train. Now we're on Cobblestone to decide it all. A fully armored Legacy side against 3 armored opponents on the side of Chiefs. 1 with 2 flashes and a HE, that being Pex, and Tux with the HE and the kit on his back. So his position will be very crucial if the bomb does go down later on. So moving out to Plateau, and Badger taking a little bit of fire for that. Getting down to 55. Stunting any type of aggression that Legacy had planned, because it's like, oh, we're definitely expecting company. So he's definitely thinking better for it. They're moving towards Long and the A site, which does have 2 stoic defenders, and being Tux and Inns. But will Tux be able to call this out quickly enough? Definitely will, with Dizzy moving out into the stables. Dizzy will take out Inns, the sole defender, and Tux as well. So both of them are taken out of the round. But Hex with a juicy 1-tap, making Dizzy's brain go bye-bye. And now a 3 versus 4 retake for the Chiefs. But Alistair getting pinged by a potential lurking Badger. No, that's enough of that, and we'll put him out of his misery. And Malta will put down Dioxide, so it's definitely doable. But Nickez getting Pex and Malta just walking out single file like a pair of robots off the assembly line. And now that will leave Alistair left and Alistair gone. That will leave 2 surviving and 1 round of the board for Legacy. And you can be sort of complacent with that round because, yeah, the bomb went down. Everything's fine. But if you're Chiefs, what do? Oh, are we going to see a bombing run? We see 4 HEs. 157, 1 P250, and 1 Deagle. And then just stock pistols elsewhere. Oh, the bombing run up. The potential bombing run on Plateau. 4 of them are positioned as such. Definitely feeling this out. Maybe not. Maybe the Legacy are a little bit unsure with how Chiefs are approaching the follow-up round. Definitely wanting to bide their time, and with this much at stake at a semi-final berth on the cards, I do not blame them in the slightest.
They're playing really slowly here. They've got 1 minute, so they've got all the time in the world. And it looks like they are going for...
In's taking out 2 with the P250, and yes, one of them was a sub player, but oof, that will definitely hurt. Badger will try to stay the ship and bring Tux out of the round, but Malta will sit Badger down, and that is a lot of damage done given how much was invested across the board, like roughly 2.5 grand.
That's a big oof.
That's a big kick in the teeth, and now Dizzy is sort of squaring things up, but a AK has been picked up on the back of Pex. That is a huge bit of weaponry to carry over, and if Inns could do any more damage, that will definitely make things a lot better. But
wow, those quick shots from Dizzy.
Dizzy will have his ego stroked and end that round on a 4K, so that will be a second on the board for for Legacy. Words are hard, and I've just been casting a very intense best of 3, and I am still learning how casting works. 2 Mac-10s, 1 Galil, and 2 AKs. Still going with the power pistols. Look at keeping on Malta. Definitely with the a very polarizing weapon being the 5.7. Badger and his Mac-10 though will put that to rest. CZ will get 1 onto Badger, but basically the damage is done, and Legacy will basically be aiming just to leg it all down. All that is left is Tux, and never mind, it is Inns. I thought they changed places. He's running around the pole, and I didn't notice that he'd changed his clothes. That is 4 alive for Legacy, and now the first gun round. An orb on Tux. It'll be interesting to see where he gets positioned, because he could act like a turret on either of the sites. It's just that he can't really nimbly rotate without a lot of issue, given the avenues of attack are very tight.
It looks like he is heading for A, and so are the T's, slowly making their way up. Dizzy taking a lot of damage on the fire.
Nikez carrying that Mac-10 over. Bit of an unorthodox choice, but if it does that, I'm all for it. Nikez in his orb says mine is better, and now that orb is taken out of the round. Now Malta and Alistair are the only ones that remain, and it's 2 versus 5. Now it's 2 versus 4, with the already tagged Nikez being put out of commission. But the bomb will be downed. The 2 CTs will aim to retreat. And there is 1 linchpin being held in the Dragon's Hall, and that will be your number 6 man, Matt CD. And will he be able to perhaps deny both of these saves? He will deny Malta carrying that weapon over. Probably not expecting his friend Alistair. He will get the better of him.
And it looks like he is going to save here.
Will he be able to hang on to it though? Dizzy is hot on his tail. And Alistair's definitely made his presence known now. Is he up or not? Dizzy is dead. What am I saying? I need more caffeine!
Someone's
4 rounds on the trot. Dizzy? I'm feeling dizzy.
Oh, and we've got a pause.
Sugar. Perhaps a tech pause, or maybe attack to try and figure out whether they can perhaps salvage something to go around the salvaged weaponry of Alistair, because he has gotten a lot on him. That should be noted. That really should be noted, because the majority of the equipment value of 76.50 would be on the back of Alistair, with head armor, kit, incendiary, smoke, flash, and the big Kalashnikov on the back of Alistair.
So, if this was a tactical pause, what would they be talking about?
It would depend on who called it. If Chiefs called it, I'd be trying to figure out a strategy of how to keep Alistair alive, because he has the most valuable assets on the back of him, being the utility and of course the AK. or if I was Legacy, I'd be like, okay, they kept a weapon. How do we isolate him and make him as useless as possible?
So it looks like they're trying to stay together as possible, not trying to spread out too much. Alistair is of course the big player here.
Peck's definitely not to be underestimated either, especially with the armor, which will make it a little bit more difficult, but maybe with the head armor it's not as critical. Dioxide, a little bit sloppy there, but will get the better of Malta. The armored player of Pex will take an eye out on the plateau and see the cavalry's coming. I need help, and Badger and Dizzy will sing out real loud, and that all collapsed in the blink of an eye for Chiefs. And now there's 5 on the trot, but the buy will be coming in now, and if Chiefs want to try to salvage a bit of a comeback and maybe try to make it a tie game by round 10, this would be when they do it. They have a full buy, they have kits on everyone, no head armor, but given it's all AKs and AWPs, it's essentially useless.
Well, looks like they are looking at where they can go here. I can't see all the players. Where are they? I can only see 3 of them on the map.
Is GoTV being GoTV and GoTV being silly?
Yep, it's being very silly.
Oh, GoTV, you're so silly.
Anyway, Dizzy over at tunnels will drop down, seeing what he can find with his AWP. Maybe he...
Chiefs not wanting to play their hand earlier, but Malta will sit Badger down and get the first man advantage in quite a while, probably since the 2nd round. That'll be a huge play. And if Inns can drop the potential bomb carrier or potential rush, this will be very, very huge. But he is in a 1-and-done position being in the sewers. It's a nade to try to hold them off, spams them through the door and wisely decides to peel off. Will Dizzy be able to catch him? Or will any of the teams be able to catch him? They're starting to move out. Whiffs the shot on the side of Dizzy. A very rare whiff from him this evening. Tux is heavily tagged. Into still being a nuisance will take down Nickez. 5 versus 3 now. The bomb is still in the back, and now the T's have sort of had their head forced. Moving down into 10 seconds. They will have to get moving now, or they will risk dying after time. Will the bomb go down? The bomb is down now. The Chiefs will win the round. Now it remains, will Dizzy be able to hightail it and save his AWP? It looks like likely that he will. There's the first round on the board for Chiefs. And that came down to just being a damn pest in the sewers. Just holding them off for as long as possible.
Well, 3 are going to A, and 2 are going to B. Bomber's going to be A. A! Badger making some noise with his P90. No? I've lost my words.
That is not a P90, unless it looks very weird. Nick is putting a Kalashnikov cartridge right through Inz's face. And will sit him out for a round, but it does take a lot of damage though. He's only on 9 HP, which will make a frag with, especially the UMP of Pex, will make that a lot easier for him. Dioxide and Dizzy Life will get the better of the Chiefs players, and now it could be a potential disaster for Chiefs moving forward.
And it is just Alistair.
Yes, and even though the HP would indicate that Alistair could make a go of this, it looks like he's just erring on the side of caution and not doing so. He will take Man CD, probably wanting to hunt, but Dizzy knows that he went down, and if anything is going to try to be retrieved, Dizzy will be on that like a hawk. But doesn't look likely.
Well, it looks like Alistair gave away his location by fragging one of the twos, and now he is just voting to save. Hopefully nobody comes up his way.
They're too far away. They won't be able to get to him. So that will be an AK, Molotov and Flash, and a kit saved for Alistair. But a 6th on the board for Legacy. It's still up for debate, though. At least in the newer iterations of Cobblestone, since its inception, or its place being brought back into the pool. Whether this is heavily T-sided, heavily CT-sided, it varies heavily on region, I feel. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not Chiefs can make this salvageable, or whether Legacy will just view it as whether or not, no matter how many T rounds that they get, they won't view it as enough. Definitely wanting to take it slow and maybe not going into a any power pistol or the salvaged rifle, which will be a huge asset. The T's are starting to use their utility, start to move out plateau. Badger and his Gatling gun of Dizzy Life is backing him up, but he won't need any help. We'll take out Pex very early. Tux and his USP staying on the lurk, maybe trying to salvage a second rifle for the team. Badger making quick work of ends. The side is remotely clear, but obviously Legacy don't know that and do not want to take any chances. And it looks like Chiefs are banding together and just letting this round go. They have too much on the back of them. Perhaps trying to maybe take out a lurker on the way, but more than likely Tux and Malta will be escorting Alistair and trying to keep him alive and carry that that weaponry and utility over. And that'll make it 7 for Legacy, and they'll be 1 round away from winning out the half, which is a scary prospect given we are only 8 rounds in and moving into the 9th.
I really hope they're not gonna do what they did in the last map and just throw to the very end and then come back and attempt to go 16.
That's such a stupid idea. No.
They've been doing it for the whole season. It's gonna happen, I believe. That's my prediction.
Maybe it's less a throw and more maybe a fault in their system. They're not able to salvage themselves. And
I
this
think
could be.
I think they just they want a challenge, and by, you know, throwing a couple rounds here and there gives them a bit of a challenge to actually play well.
That's needlessly arrogant in my opinion, and maybe something that Chiefs should definitely be thinking less of, especially on a final map where if they lose this, they are out of the playoffs.
Good point. We do not want a repeat of season 25 where Greyhound went to the ESEA challenge. Oh.
Yeah. Definitely in the feeling out phase, but the hand will start to be forced, and Inns will definitely get the upper hand on the Nick as the defense may actually finally hold strong, and the bomb is way too far away. 30 seconds left. Dizzy will take out Inns, but the bomb is forever away, and Alistair is the last line of defense. We'll get the better of Badger. The bomb is moving down plateau. No, it is very confused as to where it wants to go. Now it is starting to make a move. Bomb's moving out into plateau. The bomb is still on the site. Alistair has basically been the first line of defense, and that will be it for the Chiefs. Did Dizzy die before or after time? That will be the bigger indicator. Well, it's not really that big of an issue, but still, it sucks if you die after time. But that is one round on the board for the Chiefs. That's their second overall with 2 people surviving. But now the true test comes. Will they be able to string this together and maybe make this round, this half rather, respectable? Having a strong B defense is always a crucial asset, especially in cobblestone, because it is one of the most commonly hit bomb sites. Ins and Badger opening proceedings very early on. We're about 1 minute 15 into the round, and we've already had 2 casualties. Alistair getting tagged up too. Will they be able to hold them off? Malta. Oh, Badger having a bad day, getting torched to death by both Pex and Malta. Oh, goodbye. Who wants barbecue? Now Dizzy and Dioxide. Now just Dizzy is all that's left. A 1 versus 4. The bomb being down. The 3 threat the pull to the chest of Pex, but with the bomb being in control of the CTs and basically a one and done weapon for Dizzy. If he sees 2 CTs at once, it will be a done deal at a third of the board for Chiefs. And just like that. Now, exactly what the Chiefs needed. They need to start stringing these together and sort of start to strong-arm the economy of Legacy, which they can fully buy into, by the way, but they are now completely tapped in terms of getting a fruitful buy. Oh, even now, only thing Badger has is a smoke. Everybody else has full utility, but this will be a crucial round. If Legacy wins out the half, or if Chiefs start to rally back and say, hey, we can actually play this game and be very proficient with it. Which is why we've been doing globetrotting for the last couple of months and been one of the most dominant forces since I am Sydney. Tux will sit Dioxide down, and Dizzy will be replied in kind. Again, a 4 versus 4. Malta getting a little bit toasty there. And it's taking out a power fragger in Nickez. And Masidi, the figurehead, will take out Pex, but Inns will make a casualty of Desi Life, and then Malta and Pex will tag team and take out Matt CD. There's a 4th. And a 3rd on the trot for Chiefs, and that has forced Legacy into an eco, and things to get very, very interesting for the concluding rounds. We are on round number 12, and Malta again with the MP7. Oh, the MP9, excuse me. Yes, they are both by the same manufacturer. I think they fire the same rounds too. Inns will take out 2, but got overwhelmed by the numbers. Be taken out by Dioxide. And now Alistair will be there to clean up the pieces. Badger has salvaged a rifle, but he is in a 1 versus 4. And I don't even like his chances of saving that. No, he won't. Tux will do that with authority.
5-7, 13th round, 2 more rounds till half time. Let's see what Chiefs can do.
Chiefs are making this a comparable game. I will give them that much. And now full buy on both sides, and they're opting to keep the MP9 over, which I'm still not used to. Apparently, it's the meta now. I still can't get over it. Submachine guns are that good. Or as some people will call it, they call it the staple gun because that's exactly what it sounds like and looks like. Oof. Good night, Deoxide. Tux will take quick care of him. Into the haystack, catching Badger completely unawares. Nickers will say, don't fool my friend like that.
Tux is there. He's in the smoke. He doesn't get seen. Oh, Nickers sees
Tux
his fate.
almost. Tux trying to be a mad ninja warrior. But Legacy are having none of that. As 3 versus 3, now a 3 versus 2 as Nickers will sit Malta out for this extended period of time. Now, Pex and Alistair. Definitely not to be taken lightly. Alistair currently on 13 frags, so averaging a frag around. We're even. 2 versus 2, but the defense is split amongst both bomb sites. So Alistair will have to get a frag. He came oh so close to getting Dizzy Life. He still lives on 8 HP, but not anymore. Alistair will be wise until we take him out through the stables, and now Matt is all that is left. Definitely getting the upper hand now, with Pex being taken out of the equation. You couldn't think of a more even fight, but Matt will say, screw your high ground, I have the better aim, and that will be an 8th for Legacy, and they will win out the half. And if you're Chiefs, you've got to be seething at that and cursing out Matt CD for being able to pull that off.
And
They are buying back. They are buying back in though, and they're definitely not saying die now. They're getting really aggressive through the drop down position after being boosted, but Malta will with 2 hefty frags. Deoxide will trade him out and Kide to even the numbers. Bomb is starting to move its way out of plateau. It is up to the B defenders to hold strong. But the smoke will go down. The bomb will be planted by Matt CD. Pex is right on top of him, whiffing everything under the sun. Nickers and Matt will clean out Chiefs ESC's defense and pick up it all for their troubles as well. That is a 9th. And on this last round, Chiefs have nothing left to give. They will be scraping the bottom of their wallets, looking to the dollar saver menu and saying, this is all I can afford. Bit of a rough time now for Chiefs, and it could be a 10-5 half for Legacy moving into the change. Like I rate these power pistols a lot, which you'll see a lot of people sing their praises for, but this is not to be. The M4 proving to be useful early on, getting an early frag into Dizzy Life, but the ump of Alistair will claim Badger, and only taking a licking for that HE and claiming Matt CD on his way out of 4 versus 2 for Chiefs ESC, and in the most desperate of situations, they may be able to come out on top. But Nick is definitely not a person to shy away from. The heavy hitter, if last map is any indication, and Deoxide. Alistair will take out Nickez though, and now it is Deoxide at a 1 versus 4. And the bomber is back. And hope and a prayer. And I just noticed the name of Malta's M4, the South is here. A throwback to Chiefs' landmark win over North at IEM Sydney, which I keep grilling their social media managers for that weekend for. Sorry, guys, I love you. Dockside definitely just waiting out the time, and Pex will rip his head clean off. That is a 9-6 off the most unlikely of rounds for Chiefs ESC, but that will be that. That's 9-6 at the change in the last map of the quarterfinals of Mountain Dew League Season 26, the playoff portion between Chiefs Esports Club and Legacy. Hope you're enjoying the show. And for those wondering, my name is Justin. They call me Cyberwaste, and I have been taking you on this journey, and I have had Mitch as my right-hand man, and it's been an absolute blast. Now we move into the second half. Fully armored up Legacy side, and it looks like 4 pieces of armor and utility on Tux. So an execute on the way, and after the execute is expended, it could come down to raw aim. What do I mean could? It will.
And we are looking to go into A here. It is just Matt defending A, though Nick is he's switching between. Matt,
if Matt can crack heads like that, you don't need any other defenders. He will take down 2 and put Legacy on the upper hand.
and it looks like due to that strong defense from Matt, they are switching it to B. It's a very strange.
Not to be. It's very strange. Malta will shove that Glock into the mouth of Dizzy Life, and Pex will get Deoxide. So this is teetering so quickly. And Nickez will quickly dispatch of Tux. The silenced USP, so satisfying to watch. Malta will get the one tap onto Nickez, and now it is a 2 versus 1 for Matt CD. And Matt CD was going to pull some heroics, I'm sure, like he did earlier in the round, but he could not bookend it. And that is a 7th on the board for Chiefs. And just like the 2 maps that came before, we, Mitch, my friend, my co-caster, we have a map on our hands.
Yes, we do. This is life or death for these 2 teams. If either of them lose, they are out. They will not be going to the global challenge. It'll be over for them.
Where is the global challenge this season?
I'm actually not
London?
sure. I think
The last one was in London.
I wonder if they're yet to announce it, or if they are just gonna stay in London. Regardless, they are setting up to go to A here. Molly put out at the entrance.
Malta taking a chunk of damage right there. And Badger taking Alistair clean out. Get deleted off the server, my dude. I'll square the manpower for Legacy and Chiefs. But now the bigger question, can they get what was on Alistair's back and pull it towards the CT side? Definitely slowing their roll now. We've got 40 seconds remaining in the round. The bomb is starting to make its way to a destination. It is appearing to be the B site. It's moving through the dragon halls now. Matt is the line of defense on plateau. Inns is in an engagement on the A site to perhaps pull some people over. Inns will take down Badger. And now the cavalry is definitely here. They're moving out onto plateau. Massey will get the 1 dig onto Malta, and Deoxide will take out Tux. A 2 versus 2. Again, in the most unlikely of circumstances, the bomb is going to be planted and put down. Peck's taking a lot of damage for that.
I thought Peck
And
was showing
now
us
on a
his
combined total of 25 HP, Nickez will take out Pex. And now Inns, it's all up to you now. To stop the tree from growing. And grow it will. Nickez will sit Inns out. And in the most unlikely of circumstances, Legacy will get to double digits. Oh, this tree is looking healthy now. As we go to 10-7 in favor of Legacy.
Here we are. It is 10-7, 3rd round of the second half. It could be anybody's here.
Oh, the Chiefs, after losing a round like that, which should have been a sure thing, I would be absolutely rattled. They have 3 UMPs, 1 CZ, 1 P250 against a fully M4'd, a fully rifled rather, Legacy Esports side with 3 M4s, 1 suppressed M4, and 1 AK on the back of Nickez.
And they are in. Matt gets taken down by Alistair. The Oxide takes down Inns. Matt also takes down Alistair. Okay.
Dioxide's still staying up and being a nuisance, and the bomb is down on the site. All the CTs know that it's there, and now Malta in a 1 versus 3. It is all up to you and your ump. Can he make anything happen? There's definitely Lez's position known now. It's only a matter of time, and Nickez will take care of business. That's 11 to Legacy now, and another round that Chiefs will definitely be doing a lot of contemplating and maybe not even buying and just lazing about for a while, just to take a pseudo timeout, as it were, and just sort of recalibrate their plans of attack, or just to steady the ship after losing the follow-up round in such a, well, I'll be honest, a humiliating fashion.
We're sort of starting to see a similar pattern here. 16-13 on Mirage, 16-13 on Train. It could be 16-13 here.
But to which side, Mitch? That's the question.
That is the question. And as we said, that Dizzy, he took down 2 people with MP9, but Nickez finishes it off.
Nickez cleaning up the scraps. It did get close for a couple of the players, getting down to single digits, but Legacy keeping all 5 alive and making things even more difficult for Chiefs, and now the time will come. The buy is in, and round number 5 of the second half is on like Donkey Kong. Go up on Dizzy. We've seen throughout this series how much of a menace that orb can be. And there was something in chat I do want to address. That type of skin will not exist because Courtney Love will not give up the rights. There is no way. Nor will their estate. There is no way. Right at the standstill. Dizzy is taking a lick of damage though. Down to 55. How that will factor in, not sure given the aim on the side of Chiefs. Chiefs setting up for an A. Oh, was that a botched flash nade there? Being slow and methodical, expecting someone out from behind the box. That will prove to be not so fruitful. Both of them are underneath the plateau. One is at the tree. Dioxide says, meet me by the tree. And will Chiefs be able to oblige? Moving down to 35 seconds. Spam is definitely coming out all over the map. Malta will take out a huge frag in Badger. That could be the signal to go. If Malta takes out Dioxide, which he will do, that will be the signal for everyone to move. And now Matt CD is the only line of defense on B, but now they've changed their tune. The bomb is moving all its way out of the A's site. Nickez is holding strong at the moment, taking down 2. Tuxin Inns will bring things into a 1 versus 2 for Matt CD. Matt CD is straight at the connector, and now it is up to him. Does he move in? That is exactly what he's going to do. But will they come face to face? Inns and Matt CD. No.
Inns says
And it's back.
goodbye.
Hey, I would like to have you meet my friend, Mr. Kalashnikov. He likes giving hugs and punch to the face, and that will be 8 for Chiefs. And yet again, it's been said for quite some time that Australian Counter-Strike is at its most competitive and most even. And, well, given what we've seen, it could be a huge test to that statement. Does he having nothing but armor and a CZ to his name? Perhaps wanting to either play a one and done position or just wanting to be a nuisance? He's boosted up on long, it would appear. Yes, he is. I was expecting the bomb carrier to move through and maybe catch them by surprise if Chiefs don't check it, which sometimes they won't if they're lulled into perhaps not expecting it or thinking, they won't do it. And then they do it. 1 minute warning for round number 6 of the second half. Nickez will open proceedings.
I think it is time for them to move. 40 seconds.
That position Dizzy is in could be crucial. The bomb is moving towards that long position. And if the bomb carrier, that being Tux, does not notice, could be disaster. Dizzy, being patient. Tux has no idea. Oh, no, he does. And that is that. Dizzy will be taken out by Tux. I thought for the longest time he wouldn't have noticed.
However, Tux really needs to go quickly to the side because he only has 10 seconds to plant here.
Getting into position now that he's got backup coming.
5
now it's
seconds.
only Matt CD. And
He's not gonna
the
have enough
bomb
time.
will go down.
Will it?
Yes, they had only just had the cavalry here. And now Matt, he may not know that Pex is low after his exchange. Takes down the low player of Pex, but given no kit and no knowledge of the rest of the players, it's too risky for Matt CD to go for this. So he may aim to backpedal and just aim to save his weaponry to the next round. That'll be 9 for Chiefs ESC, and yet again, a colossal fight for power. A fight for who's better, and these two teams, with all due respect, are just neck and neck of each other. The seeding could only say so much. It all comes down to their fragging power and how they perform on each map. And it's just been an interesting series of events, I will say that much. And the power player taken out early.
That was the quickest round ever. 15 seconds!
Yep, 15 seconds. Probably why, when you have someone with that much kit on the back of them? That's very odd. Very weird. But hey, it works out in the favor of Chiefs ESC, and they're now at double digits on 10. We have the buy round coming in. Sure, the weaponry is good on the side of Legacy. The utility, however, is not, with only 3 smoke nades and 1 Molotov. And the Molotov is taken out early by Malta. Him taking out Badger, and Int will join the party as well. 3 versus 5 early. And if you're Legacy, do you just stack a sight and hope for the best? Especially this early on. The Chiefs attackers can do whatever they wish. And have pretty much all the freedom. Sure, Inns is tagged, but there is a lot that Chiefs can do and actually get away with, aside from someone just being a full-on star player.
They have the power.
Indeed. And Dizzy being the sole defender on B, but he does have an AWP on his back. So he could end up being the most crucial part of this defense. Dioxide will take out the already weakened Inns. So this may actually force their hand. Chiefs are on the way out now. And Dizzy is just made a non-factor by Alistair. That will be an easy bomb side take for Chiefs. And both Matt CD and Dioxide, the remaining members of Legacy, are having no part of it and are already legging it down long to try and hang on to their weaponry.
They have again been fooled by the Chiefs.
I wouldn't say fooled. I'd say more poor Dizzy being left to be the only defender with his AWP. Sure, the AWP is powerful, but if you can't aim it and can't use it, it's all for naught, and just more economy just being whittled away.
It's a difficult thing. Just when it comes down to a 3v3 and you have to defend both points, where do you go?
Exactly, especially when You see all the utility come out, and you're just like, okay, they're on their way now. What do I do? Do I try to be the hero? And that's exactly what I feel Dizzy had in mind. He wanted to play the hero while he called for rotations, but was not to be. So now, 2 legs, legs 11 for Chiefs ESC and 12 for Legacy, and we could be seeing a tie game, barring any heroics from Dioxide or Matt, which actually I do expect because Matt has been a monster. Matt and Nikez especially has been a monster. Speak of the devil, Nikez will take down 2, make that 3 with the FN57, and the bomb will be down the sewer as well. And just like that, it's turned on its head, a 5 versus 2. But that is in favor of Legacy and not the Chiefs. And Malta caught with his tail between his legs. Lucky to still be alive. Ins not so much. Nikez on 4 kills. Could be going for the big old ace against his name. If he can track Malta down. Malta is on his own and doesn't have the bomb to hand. So probably just waiting a minute for the time to expire. Because all of the C2 members will just be preoccupied. Nikez is going hunting. He wants this. I know he wants this. You can just imagine the rest of the Chiefs comms or the Legacy comms going. You could like they're just egging him on, tell him to get it. That's complete failure, and he is the top fragger by quite a margin, being at 26, 4 assists and 14 deaths. Ooh, definitely a force to be reckoned with and someone to fear. Big firefight, no ace for Nikez, but still a huge round for him, a huge 4K for him, bringing Legacy to 13, and if not mentally shocking Chiefs ESC, definitely stretching their economy to its britches. They will be able to buy though. They have full utility and full AKs on the board. We have 10 AKs on the board, so side isn't really a factor. It is all down to aim and utility usage. Is it being boosted up drop? Will he be able to take down Malta? Or will Malta be wise to this? Picked his head and ripped it off. Goodbye, Dizzy. You are out for this round. Definitely not letting the power go to their head yet, though. Still, with so much time on the board and with heavy hitters, like especially Nikez. If Nikez is still alive, you have every right to be scared and very cautious of your Legacy. If you have Chiefs, excuse me. And Pex is getting overrun. Ins will take out the heavy hitter of Nikez. 5 versus 2. Everybody's tagged, but it doesn't matter. There's still bodies. And Malta's playing the lurk and perhaps preventing the save of Dioxide and Matt, who have a lot on their back. Malta will be made a non-factor. Pex giving his position away to Matt CD, but will Matt let him live? Is Pex going to go for it again? Is the bigger question. Looks like he is starting to peel off. But Matt CD is gone hunting. Will they cross paths again? Definitely wanted it. We'll get the better of Matt CD, but Dioxide will finish him off. But Ins will come in and clean him up. Nothing saved for Legacy. And that is the 12th round for Chiefs. And an interesting series of decisions that can be made by Legacy. A double AWP setup now on the cards. They've cleaned out the coffers. They're throwing everything at it to get to 14. Can they succeed is the bigger question. Round 11 of this third map of the 26th season of the Mountain Dew League here in Australia. We're happy you could join me, Cyberwaste, and my right-hand man, Mitch, on this journey, which has been a belter thus far. This is proving to be much of the same. So we will definitely be going out. That Molotov sadly extinguished by the smoke, so a little bit of a waste there. Well, it's a scene above the smoke, and Badger will wipe him out at the server for now. That may not affect the attack of Chiefs though, because they are moving back to perhaps favoring the A site, where there are 2 defenders, but they have 1 AWP, that being the one of Dizzy Life, and they also have Nikez there, who is a bloody terrifying menace at the moment. And just to prove my point, Nikez will take out Inns. Dizzy whiffing a shot and taking a lot of damage in the process, still staying alive though. Badger will sit pegs down. Dizzy will be taken care of. Tux will get 2 to his name. Badger will shut down Alistair, and Tux was all that was left. And now he is no longer living. A 14th on the board for Legacy. Their roots are now being dug into the earth. And now Chiefs have a lot of tree to climb. Can they get to the top? Can they get to the canopy? Or will they be shrouded in darkness? And a very shoddy buy coming ahead indeed. Yes, full utility for 2 members, but only a PC50 and a CZ, and yes, 1 AK on Malta, but no utility to his name aside from a flash. Definitely in the touchy-feely stages, and if anything, I believe that Chiefs would be very high-strung now. They don't want to go out. They don't want to go out like this, in any case. Firefights will be making out the T's are starting to file their way out of plateau. Pex will open the side up by taking out Deoxide, but Nikez and Matt will still hold strong by taking out 2. Will you be fried chicken? No, you will not. You will be sent to the earth. Now it's 2 versus 2 between Dizzy and Nikez and Tux and Malta. And Malta will take the big factor out of the round, and Tux will finish the job. 13 for Chiefs. And now Legacy have to be contemplating, what do we do now? They will have to take this on the chin, or they will buy a power pistol set and just leg it to a certain location and see what happens. Looks like they are erring on the side of caution. And perhaps giving the Chiefs a 14th round on the board. And oof, poor Badger eating that HE nade. Power Pistol's starting to try to be a factor. Massive people take down 2, take down 3. The Desert Eagle crows their song for the masses, and that will be a 2 versus 2 again. But the CTs are heavily tagged though. A very good effort from Matt CD. But Badger and his Desert Eagle can still be a menace to Chiefs ESC and bring Legacy to match point. And right behind, but Pex is too wide to him. And we'll sit him out. And we are tied at 14. Ladies and gentlemen, we will get a full 30 rounds on this map, no matter what. But which way will it tip? That's what we're about to find out. Firepower definitely in favor of Chiefs, but the Deagles, man. The Deagles. The Power Pistols, they're too strong in this region. It's almost otherworldly. It's insane. Bomb is sitting in the middle. Definitely going to be just sitting there for a while, getting real cozy, while a couple of the Chiefs members perhaps try to bait out a couple of frags for themselves and make things a lot easier. Also hovering towards the drop position. There's nobody there, but they can't afford to shortchange themselves and give them every opportunity to know that things are safe. I'll throw a smoke to cut off Plateau. Perhaps looking towards the drop position now. Tux will get one on the Badger, but we're taken down to half health for his trouble. Right, moving towards drop now, but is there anyone to boost him up to perhaps get a flank? No, even better, he gets a kill for his trouble. We'll take that Tux that was just sitting around drop, doing absolutely whatever. Who's doing now? Only 2 are left on the defense. In's trying to hold people in place. He will take down Dizzy Life, making people a little bit more paranoid on the on the side of Legacy. A little bit of an extended firefight. SCD will take down Ins with the shot from Malta, but Matt maybe deeming it to be a bit too risky. Get an AK to his name. Maybe getting a frag here and now will make it a little bit easier, but Nickers will be taken out. A 1 versus 3 for Matt CD. And this will bring Chiefs to match point. Unless Matt could be the true hero of the day and get a 1 versus 3, and it looks like he is hightailing it out of there. It's far too valuable. We'll play for the tie. We'll see how we do. 3 survive for Chiefs. 1 survives for Legacy Esports, and we are on match point for Chiefs after a barn burner of an opening series for the Mountain Dew League's playoffs. Well, it has all come down to this. And it's basically a change jar buy for Legacy. We have a CZ, a 5.7, a Mag 7. Where will that go? An M4 and the Scavenged AK from Matt CD, and full AKs and utility on the side of Chiefs. Anything can happen in Counter-Strike. I want to reiterate that. It's been 1 round, and Alistair taking a lot of damage early on. This has been in the series of unlikely rounds, so who knows? Anything and everything can happen in this place. And it's wonderful to watch. Badger looking at the sewers with his FN57. Alistair will be the first person to contend with who has already been tagged. Badger taking a little damage himself as well. Moving down to 45 seconds now. Moving towards the plateau. We will have someone to contend with. They've started to peel off and move into the main site. ICD being the force to be reckoned with. Dizzy will be taken out by Malta. Now 4 versus 5. Chiefs are starting to roll into the B's site. The defense is crumbling for Legacy as the Oxide is taken to the bench. And Ins and Pex will sit 2 down, and now Badger, you are all that is left, and now there is none left to give. Chiefs have cut down the mighty tree of Legacy Esports in a 3-map belter of a series. 2 maps to 1, 16-13, 13-16, 16-14. Chiefs the Invictors and move on to the semifinals. We thank all 10 of the players for a belter of a series. We thank all of you for watching. My name has been Cyberwaste. My right-hand man has been Mitch. You have been on CappingTV. Good night and happy fragging.